Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Part of my work on campus is to connect with faculty, and it's a great pleasure and an honor I have. And I started working in 2017, and Liwei Wang was one of the first professors I got to know. And it's just been a pleasure getting to know him and his family. He's a friend. He's a professor of engineering. How many engineers are in the room? Hands up. Don't be embarrassed, guys. Put your hands up high. Okay. Very good. Very good. It was interesting in the testimony. I think it was Mackenzie mentioned these little quiet gestures we do that share faith. And when I heard her say that, I just thought immediately of Liwei, because he has a very quiet witness. You know, as an engineering prof, it's not like he can preach every lecture, right? But particularly through his students, his graduate students, who are often from China or from Iran, I know he encourages them to go to church. He connects them to me or to other pastors in town. It's just this very quiet, persistent way of sharing his faith and showing his love in Jesus. So I won't say anything more other than to welcome Liwei and give him a warm welcome, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Liwei Wang. So you can call me Liwei, so don't call me doctor. That's okay. Yeah, I mean, I try, so we are really very close. Like, I'm an engineering professor, so my office is in IMI building, right? I'm not sure if some of you know me, or if you take second year course, maybe you know me, right? So yeah, I feel when Pastor Todd and James invited me, I said yes right away, because I feel I had a lot of sweet memories when I was a student, and I attended Bible study fellowship. And I'll just show you our faith journey, me and my family. How do we came to know Jesus, and how do we came to faith, and how we grow together with Jesus, right? So I think this is very interesting journey. So here, if you look at the photo, probably you have to count how many kids I have. So I have I will show you more. So, but here I have my daughter, my oldest daughter, my second daughter, my son, and we have twins. Right, so we have 5 kids. I'm very busy. So I wanted to come early because I heard UCM, right? But I'm just too busy. But today, we meet together, and I'm really happy. Okay, so before I start my sharing of my testimony, kind of like testimony. So I want to let you know maybe a little bit about my background. So right now I'm an assistant professor from UBC. I joined UBC Okanagan campus 8 years ago, right? Quite some time. Before we moved back to Kelowna, we were in Sweden. I was working in Sweden as a senior scientist. So I was working in power system area. So we do renewable energy integration. So we design power converters. So here I use this slide for my students. If you take my 4th year course, I'll use the same slide. So you won't be surprised. So here basically we design power converter station, which is very big. And you can see here is a helicopter landing pit, right? So this converter station, 2-3 story building, right? Very huge. So we designed the power converters. I worked in Sweden for 4 years. Before the whole family moved to Sweden, I was a grad student in UBC Vancouver. So I stayed in UBC for 6 years. So I came to Bible study fellowship since 2005, and I keep coming every week. We do every Wednesday, so 5 years, right? So we have a lot of sweet memories. So yeah, so my research area is also in power system modeling, and UBC traditionally is very famous in the world. So we have a leading research group in this area, right? So I also did my internship in Switzerland, and I did my master and bachelor in China, so many years ago. So I first came to Canada is in 2004. So you can maybe count how many years? Maybe 17 years ago, or maybe 18 years ago. My first time come to Canada. Yeah. So maybe I can show you a little bit my journey. Like, I was born and raised in China, and I moved to UBC Vancouver in Canada 18 years ago. And I did my PhD, and I finished by 2010, and the whole family moved to Sweden. So you see here, so this is in North Europe. And yeah, it's a small town. It's basically a company. The company has the global head office there. And I stayed there for 4 years, and we moved back to Kelowna just in 2014. Okay, so here, as I mentioned to you, so we had the Bible Study Fellowship, so it is called International Bible Study Fellowship. So we don't have a pastor in the fellowship, but we do have a few, grad students and also regional college students. They have burden to have on-campus Bible Study Fellowship. I think I know that UCM also has Bible Study Fellowship there, right? But I know there are quite different Bible Study Fellowship there. So we all try to reach out to different students with different background. So here, I'm not sure you can find me or not. Do you still see me? At that time, I was a little bit younger, so a little bit younger. And I'm almost 20 years older, 20 years younger. So here, this is me. I'm not sure if you can see me here. So this is my wife. We met in Bible Study Fellowship. You can see so people from different background. So some students are international students. Some are grad students, undergrad students. Some are senior people from the society. So we don't have a pastor, but So I think we have a few. Christian leaders. They have the burden to have this fellowship. I came to know Jesus from the Bible Study Fellowship. This is why I feel so sweet come back to you to meet every one of you, right? So before I start to share my faith journey, I just want to ask how many of you are international students? Okay, we have a lot of international students. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I was also an international student when I first came to Canada. I was a master's student and I transferred to PhD. And here also you see we have also grad students, and also we have undergrad students. My wife was an undergrad student, and also we have people from the society. We have people from different backgrounds. We have people from Japan, China, from Nigeria. People from different backgrounds, from South Korea, Jamaica. So it's very diverse, and so people from different places. We are called the International Bible Study Fellowship. So we have three groups. We have Alpha, Beta, Gamma. So Alpha, probably, Alpha group is for people who just came to the group. They want to know Jesus, and they haven't come to the faith. And we have Alpha, and we have Beta and Gamma. So for a little bit, mature Christians. And this is me. So this is when I came to know Jesus, and I brought a cake, and then we celebrate. So this is he is the core leader. His name is Wang from Taiwan, and also we have a few other leaders. Chinadu from Nigeria. So also we have a student from Regent College. So he was doing his master. So they started a group from maybe 5 people, and then gradually the group grows. And at the same time, Wayne, he's a PhD student at that time. So he's a supervisor from civil engineering, is a professor from civil, and also he was the head of the department. And so they also kind of help Wayne to establish the group. So so the group grows. Sometimes we have 20 people, sometimes we have 30 people. So we met in Macmillan Building. So I think if you come to UBC Vancouver, probably they have land and food department there. So just the open area. So I'm not sure here how do we operate like there. We just come there and we don't even rent a place. So so really informal. But we have some dinner and we eat together. We sing worship songs, and after that we have Bible study fellowship together. So this is Wayne, and so this I think it's in restaurant. So he's really like a big brother. So he's kind of 10 years older than us at the time, and he's also a PhD student. So this is other Chinadum, and this is Daniel, my friend, also from China. He's also a PhD student. Right now he's in Michigan Ann Arbor as an associate professor there. So he's back in Taiwan. So he's working in water treatment. So also at the same time he's also as a kind of like missionary. Sometimes they go to Bangladesh, so they travel also. So this is my wife. So we met in Bible Study Fellowship. So here, this show you again. So basically, when I was a student, when I first came to UBC, in 2004, this is my first time came outside my home country, and everything's new, right? I remember in Vancouver when I got on the bus, I don't know how to get off the bus, right? At that time, I don't know you have to pull the string, and the bus will know that you have to stop. And then I'm kind of, it's very different, right? So I have to shout to the bus driver, please stop. So very funny, and I feel very lonely at that time in the beginning. Everything's different, and also, English is a little bit harder for me, right? So as a newcomer, and very lonely. And so my friend brought me to a Bible study fellowship, and gradually I came to know Jesus there. And my wife and me, we are first generation Christians. So I think my wife, her grandfather was a Christian. At that time, there are missionaries in China. So but her grandmother, are not Christians. So my grandfather, when he got cancer, I think he became a Christian, I think, at that time. So our parents are not. So we still pray for them. So we hope they can be Christians. So sometimes we go to local churches. We have retreat. So we have, we have core leaders, and so they organize retreat. So you see people from different backgrounds. So this is Chinese New Year. We eat in Chinese restaurant. So in Vancouver there are a lot of Chinese there. Also we come to Chinese church there. So this is when I got baptized in Evangelical Chinese Bible Church in 2005. And so we have Christmas celebration and Chinese New Year many years ago. And this is my wedding. It was in a Chinese church there. I invited all my lab mates there. So we don't have our parents even in Canada. So the wedding was organized by all my friends, church friends, fellowship friends. So so we invited all my lab mates and also Bible study fellowship friends. And baby shower, you see my wife was pregnant. And so we were really happy. At the same time, as a student, we, because my wife was pregnant, I really hope my mother-in-law can come here to Canada, right? So we applied for visa, and we applied 2 times, and it was rejected 2 times. And my wife was really disappointed, and she was crying even when we came to church, and she was crying. And then we feel so down, right? So, we don't know people around us. They just pray. They offer, do you want prayer? We can pray for you. We don't know what happened in your life, but we can pray for you. So, so we have also our friend, church friend. So they offer help. They say, if your mom cannot come, we can help you. Don't worry. So we prayed, and we tried the 3rd time. She got her visa. So my mother-in-law got her visa. So we're really happy. And so before my wife was pregnant, I really feel how Jesus changed my life. As a new student, as an international student, I learned driving, right? So I drive along Broadway in Vancouver, and the street was so narrow. My first driving, I don't even have a Canadian license at that time. I used my Chinese license. And but we bought our second-hand car. It was our first car, and we feel excited. And so I was driving, and because I was so close to the right lane, and I crashed the mirror of another car. And so it was really stressful. And I think if, I don't know Jesus, if I didn't know Jesus, probably I would just run away because nobody is on the car. And I was really scared. And as a poor graduate student, we don't have a few $1,000s to pay. But I think, I feel scared right away, but I didn't run. And I called my friend from the church. And I asked her, my wife also in the car, I asked her, what should I do? I crashed the mirror and nobody's watching me. She said, no, don't worry. So you can just leave a note there. And just let them know that, they can contact you later. I really feel, to me, it was kind of struggle, right? So I think really, I get the strength. I got the strength from Jesus. I think Jesus will take care of me, right? Even though this is kind of, really bad to my life, right? But I have to, trust Him that He can help, right? So, later on, ICBC called us. Do you want to pay yourself, or we pay for it? I think we got the estimate. It was, $1,000. I mean, we just we have to pay, so we just paid it. But I feel, my faith gave me peace. Although it's kind of disaster in my life, right? As a poor student, you have to pay $1,000, right? So we just bought a car. We don't have much money for it. Yeah, but I think Jesus gave me peace. Otherwise, I think if I don't know Jesus, I could do some other choice. But I'm happy that I made the right choice, even though I paid some money. And the other car, the owner, they really appreciate, and they say, yeah, thank you. I think they really appreciate my honest, right? So I feel so peaceful. Yeah, so this is one small story behind it. So the baby shower, we got a lot of gift from our Bible study fellowship. So we got our first daughter. So Spring here is my first daughter, right? So really young, and at that time, now she's really tall. She's taller than mom, right? So we have our Bible study fellowship friends came in to our place. So maybe you're wondering what is the name Spring, right? So why do we find the name Spring? So actually, we are looking for a special name, maybe from Bible, but we don't know what name we should name her. Well, we were struggling with financial situation, right? So we have a family. We need a bigger house, right? Townhouse or a bigger house, and we need my mom or my mother-in-law come here, right? So we face a lot of difficulties. We face pressure, right? As a student, as an international student, I think you have probably similar situation, right? So you worries, a lot of worries. If we can find a job later, or if you have enough financial support, right? So we were really, our heart is like Psalm 84. If you read Psalm 84, so basically, so here I start from verse 5. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, whose hearts are set on pilgrimage, as they pass through the valley of Baca. So I think probably so valley of Baca, valley of weeping, right? So Baca means weeping. Baca is kind of a tree, so it's a weeping tree. So they say the tree drip something like a tear. Drip actually, some small droplet like tear. So valley of Baca means valley of weeping. I think in Chinese translation they just say valley of weeping. So they make it a place of spring, place of blessed, all the blessings. So the tears, weeping because you have weeping, because the tears become spring, right? Become living water. So this is really beautiful. We like the words, and so we name our first daughter Spring. So the autumn rain also covered with pools. Really beautiful words. So we were really touched because we were so down. We were so stressful, and we were working in the valley of Baca or in the valley of weeping. Suddenly, God helped us. God delivered us. God gave us blessing, right? So we really want to name our first daughter Spring. So they go from strength to strength till each appear before God in Zion, right? So this is really beautiful words. I really like it. We have our second daughter born in 2010. So actually, I got my degree in 2010. I got my PhD, and I was looking for a job, right? So there are some different opportunities. So the first one I got, the job offer is from Sweden. So it's a big company. It's a global company. So there are people are really nice, and they offer me, the company looking for accommodation for me and good salary. But the thing is, we have to move to Sweden. So when I just got a job, I feel this is a very good one. So we may want to go there, but on the other hand, we want to stay in Canada, so English-speaking country. We have our local church there in Vancouver, and my wife got pregnant for our second daughter. So Olive hasn't been born that yet. So when I got the job offer, so I'm thinking, maybe we should go at least for some time. So until after a few months, I got another job offer from BC Hydro. So, BC Hydro is kind of, a permanent job and very good job, very stable, well paid, and they have very good, benefit. So I was also struggling. Should I go or should I stay? So I promised them I go there. Like they rented a place for me, and they were, thinking, I will join them, or should I break my promise? Should I stay? I really don't know. Like I feel it's really hard for me to make the decision. I promised them to go. If I break my promise, I just feel, I don't have peace in my heart. So so we decided, we cannot break our promise, so we should go to Sweden. So, on the other hand, I feel no matter which way we go to Sweden or we stay in Canada, I think God will help us. So when we face uncertainties, I think everyone, when you graduate, you will face uncertainties. So should you go to this job or should you go to that job? Or should you, marry this person or marry that person? So you have a lot of, choices you have to make, right? So, but I think no matter what choice you make, if you follow God, if you, follow His guidance, so He will guide you. So no matter where you go right, go left, no matter where you go, I think He will guide you. So we decided to go to Sweden. So because I don't want to break my promise, I promised them, and they are also nice people, very good company also. So I went to Sweden myself first, and my wife stayed, and until my daughter was born there in Vancouver, and I came back to Vancouver again, and the whole family united for a few months, and then I brought my family to Sweden. The whole family moved to Sweden. So so you see here, my daughter Olive. So maybe you're wondering again here, why Olive? why we name her Olive? So actually, we are also looking for Bible. We want to find something interesting or something meaningful from Bible for my daughter's name. So I see. If you read Bible, probably you know Olive from Bible. A few places mention olive tree or olive oil, right? So here from Psalm 52. So here I put verse 8, but I'm like an olive tree, flourishing in the house of God. I trust in God's unfailing love forever and ever. For what you have done, I will always praise you in the presence of your faithful people, and I will hope in your name, for your name is good. So we know that God will lead us. God will lead Olive. So olive tree is evergreen tree, right? So olive tree can live really long life. So even right now, so there are some trees, olive trees, they live 1,000 years. Right? So they are 1,000 years old. They can be very big, very big tree top. Right? So olive tree also very, very important, very precious for people in that age, because olive can make olive oil, right? So olive is one of the most valuable tree at that time. So basically, if you read Bible verse, we know that olive oil also can be anointing oil, right? So if you look at all the priests, they use olive oil mixed with flour or mixed with cake for sacrifice, right? So olive oil can also be used to anoint kings, right? So like King David, right? So Samuel also anointing David using olive oil. So olive oil can also be used to heal people. They believe olive can bring joy. Olive oil can bring joy and peace, right? So this is a beautiful name. So here we also find another Bible verse, Psalm 128. Blessed are all who fear the Lord, who walk in obedience to Him. You will eat the fruit of your labor. Blessing and prosperity will be yours. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your house. Your children will be like olive shoots around your table. right? So this is really a beautiful picture, right? So you have your family around you. So your family, your children will, they thrive. They grow strongly. They grow strongly, and So the beautiful words. So I love the name. So we name our daughter Olive. So as I mentioned, the whole family moved to Sweden because it's an interesting place. It's a very nice place. So there, people are really nice. So Sweden is very north. If you can see here, so this is in winter, maybe a little bit colder than here. So in winter, they can go to minus 20 degrees, a little bit colder than here. So the snow won't melt until April. And then the spring is so short, and then the summer is coming. The summer is a little bit cooler. It's 25 degrees. But the summer, there's a lot of sunshine. The sunset at 11. Sometimes if you go to north, the sunset at 12. So people say you can play golf at 12, midnight, in summer. Right? In winter, so the sunset really early, like 2 p.m. Like I finish my lunch, I work a little bit, now 2 p.m. and completely dark. If you want to go home, right? So people in Sweden, they go to Spain for some vacation in winter because they want to get more sunshine there, right? So very nice people. So they take in a lot of refugees, and people are really nice. So they have very good social benefit. Our daughters go to daycare for free, right? So we don't need to pay for daycare. So we really take a benefit of it because we have 2 kids there, and teachers are really nice. They love the kids. So here, so if you look at in the daycare, so on the door, so they make a lot of handcraft. So it's called a pepper's canning. So do you know what is canning? You can guess? Pepper's canning. Pepper's canning. What do you think? Yeah, paper bunny. Yeah, pepper means paper. Canning means bunny. You can see from the door. So I mean the daycare is really nice. The teachers really love the kids. So I think when we came to Sweden, I think the difficult thing here is the language. Otherwise, the society is very similar to Canada. So I have my colleague. He was driving in Sweden, and he said, "Oh, I feel I'm in Canada." Only when he come out of the car, he went to gas station, he start to talk to people. He feel like, "Oh, I cannot speak English," so they speak Swedish, right? But the people also speak English in Sweden. They have English movie, but we feel just a little bit hard to learn Swedish. My daughter was learning Swedish, and we feel a little bit hard for us. So we don't want to stop worshiping God. We want to come to church. So in the city, there is an English church, English-speaking church. It's called the New Life Church. They have Swedish service with English translation, and I went there, and I feel all the Christians in the world. So we have the same Jesus. We have the same God, and we have really similar background, and we have the same faith, right? So I feel really warm and feel I come back to my home, right? So this is very nice experience. At the same time, I also want to explore a little bit some Chinese church. I'm wondering because in Sweden there are not so many Chinese. In the city there are maybe a few hundred. In Stockholm, maybe a few thousand there. So we went to Stockholm on Sunday to find a Chinese church there. So there are also a Chinese church. The pastor came from UK, and he planted a church in Sweden and in Norway 20 years ago. So we have to drive maybe 1 hour and a half one way to go to Stockholm, and then to come to the worship, and then drive my family back. I have a big van, so we can put all the kids there. So the trip is a little bit tiring, but we are happy. We are happy to find people with some similar background, some Chinese friend, our Chinese pastor there, right? So it was really a different experience, but really also very interesting experience. So here you see in summer, as I mentioned, a lot of sunshine, very beautiful, and this is the daycare teacher. They really love the kids. So here, if you look at the bottom 2 photos, so they have maybe in Nordic countries, in like Denmark, Sweden, or Norway, so they have Santa Lucia Day. So they celebrate Santa Lucia around December 13th. So this is just right before Christmas. So, also in Italy, I think Lucia was originally from Italy. So the girl, she provided food in the fourth century, while the Roman Empire at that time persecute Christians. So Lucia provided food. Saint Lucia provided food, and she was killed because of her provisions to Christians. And people want to memorize her, and now it become a tradition in Europe, in North Europe, or also in Italy. People celebrate Santa Lucia. Okay, so basically they memorize what Lucia did, and they also they believe the light of Christ come to the darkness of the world, right? So even people don't believe Jesus, they also celebrate Santa Lucia in Sweden because they want to celebrate the light, because they need light in winter, right? It's very dark. So they want to celebrate, they want to have light. Hopefully they get a lot of light. So here you see little girls, they wear a crown and they have candle on top, and they wear the white robe. So it's believed as baptismal robe. And also they have a sash, red sash as Jesus' blood. Right, so this is a tradition. So, but still, there are a lot of Christians in Sweden. So, Lutheran, right? So there are a lot of churches there also, a lot of Christians. So they sing Santa Lucia in the company, in daycare. So, little child come to the company, they will sing it as a tradition, right? So very, very sweet and interesting. Yeah, so they celebrate before Christmas. And then I got my son, Joshua. Joshua was born in 2012. Joshua was born in Sweden. So now we have 3 kids. So why do we name Joshua? So actually, before we came to Sweden, so I have my friends from the church. So she is a senior lady, and she's very nice, like our aunt, right? So she sent us a banner saying that from Book of Joshua, saying me and my family will serve the Lord, right? So we brought the banner to Sweden, and so we hung the banner at our house. So we feel okay, so we should name Joshua. So I got my son Joshua there in Sweden. So here, this is the first dinner my wife and me we got in the hospital. So it's really nice. Yeah, very very interesting. Yeah, so. So my wife, in the beginning, she was really stressful. She was staying at home, pregnant. She didn't have friends. We went to church, but also, we don't know a lot of people and kind of isolated. And we don't speak Swedish that much. And I work. I can talk to my colleague, and I feel I have less stress compared with my wife. So she was really stressful. And after our son was born, so she studied in a local university there. So she did her master's degree. She walked out of the house and she met more people, and she was really happy. And so actually, she was the one who asked me to come back to Canada. So, but she was really stressful, right? So after she got a degree, she didn't want to go. But I started looking for positions here in Canada, as a professor. So we got position here. I got another position in Memorial University. So finally we decided to come to Kelowna because UBC, we like UBC. We have a lot of sweet memories, right? So this is my wife. She got her degree there. And as I mentioned, we came back to Kelowna in 2014. So you see, so this is the first day we came back. So kids were really happy, and they play in the lake and in downtown, in the park. I have my son there. So this is really a beautiful city. We feel that here, probably this is a promised land that God gave us, right? So we hope it is the promised land. So kids were playing in downtown, and I'm not sure, I don't remember where this is. Maybe this is in Vancouver, maybe. But I like this photo here because, Kelowna is the name of grizzly bear, right? So here they were in downtown, and so they were really happy. So they were in daycare. So this is so they came to the daycare and the preschool, and then we got our 4th and 5th. So it seems whenever we move to a new place, we got new kids. So we don't want to move anymore. So we don't want to have new kids. So I got twins, and so we want to have the last one. We got the bonus. Yeah, so it's also very stressful when I came to UBC as an assistant professor, right? So everything's new. Like it's a big learning curve. I have to really teach and research and apply for a grant, and everything is so busy with kids. And I think I remember when I came here first, when I did my second year class, it's really struggle. Like I really got a big struggle. Not easy. It's a numerical analysis. I'm not sure if you have the same complaint as me. So, but it's really not easy course. I pray to God, like, should I really, this is really the job that you want to bring me back, or should I become engineer, not a professor? I'm not really good to be a good teacher. I feel so hard. It's so hard. And my first year teaching wasn't good. I agree with my student. Sometimes my student also feel very disappointed. I feel also disappointed to myself, right? So, but I prayed. I really prayed. I prayed hard, right? So I think my ability is limited, but I think God has unlimited power and ability, right? So I prayed hard and I really seek Him. Should I really, this is the job or not? Should I go back even? Yeah, but I think God gradually answered me and comforted me, right? So God tell me you should care your student, right? You should really care for them. So you should really care for your students' learning, right? So I think, I have a sincere heart, right? I want to help my student, also help myself, right? So I think this is a growing process, together, right? So so I gradually, I think, I thank God's grace. Gradually, my teaching is better, and also, as a professor, you need to apply for a grant. You need to supervise your student. So because I did my R&D engineer in Sweden, so I'm kind of like a senior scientist, right? So when you apply for a research grant here in Canada, so you will put your research experience, to show your credential, right? So I put myself as a senior scientist, which I am a senior scientist. Well, they, the grant evaluator think, you are a senior, so you are not eligible for all the benefit for junior faculties. And then I was classified as established researcher. Well, I don't have any training record, right? So when they look at your grant proposals, they look at your research paper publication, they look at how many students you graduate, right, as your research potential or as your research outcome. Well, they think I'm a senior person, but I don't have any training record because I'm not a professor before. So I got big problem. I didn't get my research grant for 2 years. Until the third year, I got my research grant. And it was almost too late because I was thinking I should leave the position. I should go back to Sweden maybe. And that grant is critical, right? So if I don't have that grant, maybe I cannot get my tenure contract extended. So that's really stressful, right? So it's not easy to be a professor, but I think, so God really lead us. And the third year, I got my grant, right? So I really thank God for it. So we always have a hope. So maybe you have to wait for 1 year, 2 years, right? Maybe the third year, I got my grant, right? The third year, I got even one more grant. I got another grant, a hardware grant. So, and later on, I got more and more grant. I got more student, and I got my teaching much better than before. Right? I got also students' appreciation with happier faces. Right? So I can see your faces. This is why I like face-to-face teaching. Sometimes I told my student, I don't like Zoom because I don't see you are happy or not happy. Right? So if we have face-to-face communication, I know if you are happy or not. Right? So here. My two sons, their names also from Bible. One is Samuel, another one is Joseph, right? So probably you know their names. So we did a baby dedication. First for my son, for Joshua. So we go to Willow Park Church. So I think probably you know it's along 33, right? Highway 33. So we have Pastor Phil. So we did dedication for my son Joshua. And also for my twins, for Samuel and Joseph. Yeah, so I think we hope, we are lucky we come to Canada. We know Jesus in Canada, right? So there are also more and more Christians in China, like more churches in China, a lot of home churches in China. But probably you know that recently, in the past few years, now the society now is more. So the government controls more the society and also the churches, and it's harder and harder for Christians there. So, but I think I really hope my parents or our parents can know Jesus, and I hope more people can be saved in China, right? So we know, so we know Jesus, we know gospel. Eventually, will be, spread along, the world, and more people will know Him, right? So it's matters of us to work with Him, to work with Jesus together, so that other people around us know Him through us, right? So, this is why also I'm very happy to share with you guys, what I have experienced. I said I have a lot of sweet memories that I did when I was a student. You can imagine if we don't have Bible study fellowship back in UBC in Vancouver, I couldn't know Jesus. This is why it's so valuable you are when you have a fellowship here, right? So we meet together, right? So this is so valuable that you are working for that, right? So, yeah. And so this is the whole family. So we are happy, and we feel blessed, and also, so we feel, God is working in us, in our family. So we are growing together, and so maybe after 10 years, maybe my daughter, so she is 13 years old now. So maybe after 5 years, she'll become a university student, maybe here or maybe in Vancouver, I don't know. But I think probably she will also come to Bible study fellowship, right? So she'll be like you guys or like me, right? And when we were young, right? But I really cherish all the memories that we grow together with, with Christians, with my, with my church, with Jesus, right? So I think there are a lot of sweet memories. Yeah, so nothing really, nothing really miracle. But I think this is a miracle, right? So this is a miracle in my life. I feel I tasted. I feel I encountered Jesus, right? So I feel He changed my life. He made a way for us, right? So here, I think Pastor Todd asked me to prepare 2 questions. I'll try to ask you, how do you encounter Jesus? So do you know Jesus or not? Or you are still looking for Him, or still knowing Him? Or if you came to your faith, how do you know, or how did you encounter Jesus? Or what experience can you share that God changed your life or deliver you from difficulties, right? So I think our life is not always easy or not always difficult. So it's always up and down. But with all these difficulties, we learn, we grow, and I think we will experience Him, right? Okay, thank you guys. Yeah.